And the players getting reacquainted prior to the tip. A pretty loose atmosphere out there. It's time for the NBA. Live on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan with Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg alongside. And our sideline reporter tonight is Doris Burke. A quick check down the starting lineups for both teams. First, for the Rockets, manning the backcourt, Jeremy Lin along with James Harden. And at center, the most dominant physical presence in the NBA, the elite defensive big man, Dwight Howard. Then there's Chandler Parsons. And it's Asik in at the four-man position. And for the Bulls, D. Rose and Jimmy Butler, the backcourt. And down low, the two-time NCAA champion at Florida, the 6'11 tornado of energy and effort. It's the big man, Joakim Noah. Then it's Dang, and it's Boozer in at the power forward position.
Tell you what, you got to give the Houston Rockets a lot of credit, guys. After losing their franchise players to injury and age back in '09, they've managed to rebuild this team without tanking for lottery picks or going all the way to the bottom of the heap. Very impressive.
No good from Howard.
Pretty good defense there. I mean, that's a shot that he can make, but they really challenged him.
Misses from close range.
Well defended, and he's not someone who responds well to that kind of defensive pressure.
And there's a whistle. That goes on Jeremy Lin. That's his first foul. Rose against Lin. There's the three. And there's Dang. That's good on the assist by Rose. Dang's got the first bucket of the game with the three for the Bulls. And for the Rockets, they've been very shrewd acquiring undervalued players, trading for draft picks. Steve, all in the hopes of swinging big trades for superstars.
Well, and then when they acquired James Harden, they finally got a cornerstone player. Now all of a sudden you throw in Dwight Howard, you've got another foundational player. So all these years of tinkering and trading and moving picks and moving players, it's finally paid off, and now he's got the team he was hoping to put together.
And just about a minute into the first quarter. And the shot counts. He's fouled, and it's a chance for a three-point play.
When you can make adjustments for the shot in mid-air and midstream and still knock it down, you know you're flowing.
Bulls shooting their first foul shot of the night.
And they averaged about 77% from the free throw line a year ago. So this is a solid free throw shooting team.
And, you know, that just added to their confidence at the offensive end. I mean, knowing that free throw shooting was something they didn't have to worry about gave them a lot of confidence to play freely.
Now, here is Harden. After the miss from Butler, Harden kicks to Howard. And he drops in the layup off the glass.
Tell you what, he takes a lot of punishment inside. When Howard gets the ball in deep, defenses are looking to foul him hard because of his difficulties at the free throw line.
And he's a devastating finisher when you let him power it up to throw it down. He's a former dunk contest champ, Steve, so you give him a chance to do that, he'll make you part of his highlight reel.
And that one's good by Butler.
Man, a gaping hole in the defense that time, and he didn't waste any time getting through it.
You know, to me, one reason why Carlos Boozer is such a valuable scorer is that he can hurt you in a multitude of ways inside. He can hit the rainbow jumper of his, and when he's back to the basket, can go over both shoulders very well.
Rose attacking. Goes back up. And you can count it. He'll go to the line with a chance to make it three.
You know, that putback's about as easy as it's going to get. You have to put a body on someone down there.
Well, no box out, that's the result you get right there.
And for Boozer, you remember the story. Growing up in Alaska, his dad tied his right hand to his waist, so he'd have to develop his left, and that was something that he worked on even more when he went to Duke.
Well, yeah, his left hand is fantastic. I mean, that's his preferred hand when he's finishing around the rim. A right-handed jump shooter, but anything around the basket is usually his left, so he probably owes his dad a debt of gratitude for tying him up all the time.
That's one way to put it.
Wow, just a tremendous first quarter shooting the basketball for them, guys.
Yeah, when they put it up, it's gone in.
Harden the pass to Lynn. Back to Harden. And stolen by Butler. And here we go. Rose. Nobody back. The coast-to-coast dive. Let's look at the energy stats. How the hustle game has been going for the Bulls.
Boy, they've really amped up the pressure at the defensive end, guys, and have piled up the steals in the early going.
Yeah, and I've noticed also that their quick hands have led to a lot of forced turnovers. They're getting some points in transition as a result.
Asik with the bucket.
You know, they've scored several times already here in the first quarter down low. I like that.
Yeah, me too, Clark. I think anytime you have success pounding the ball inside, you've got to continue to go to the well.
You know, in one of the more compelling postseason stories, the question about when the Bulls would bring Derrick Rose back just continued to hover around the playoffs. Ultimately, just never happened.
Rockets trail by 6. Doris Burke had a chance to catch up with head coach Tom Thibodeau.
He said he certainly followed the rise of Jeremy Lin into a prime-time point guard in this league, and he told me we need to try to limit his penetration. That's where he's most effective, slashing and with the drive and kick. Guys, Lin has certainly been working to improve his outside shot, but sometimes you have to pick your poison, and they'll live with him shooting from outside. Back to you.
All right, Doris, thank you very much. And here's Rose. James Harden getting it to go from deep. That is good. And that's now 6 points for Derrick Rose. Well, back to the Bulls, and even without Rose, I think the team made a big statement, Steve, with how they played in the postseason. They showed that they weren't just a one-man show with Rose running things, and had a solid core and system that will always compete.
Well, it's the second straight year that the Bulls have essentially been without Rose in their playoff run due to injury. And so I think Chicago fans are kind of wondering what exactly the roof is for this team, the ceiling, if you will. Let's hope that Rose stays healthy this year, so we'll find out.
1:22 left in the first quarter. And the pass to Harden. The tray, and that one's good. Harden's got 9.
These defenders had better start closing out on those shooters.
Yeah, that's twice in a row now where they've done exactly the opposite and backed off.
Now here's Heinrich. Back to Butler. Good, and Heinrich gets the assist. 9 points for Butler.
And they're making a statement here, guys, going inside for 8 of their last 10 points.
Time to man up on D and stop these free runs to the rim.
Butler against Harden. And another 3 for Houston.
They're going back to the three-point shot over and over and over.
That was the 9th straight point from behind the arc, Clark. It feels like they're finding the holes in this defense.
Now here's Heinrich. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. Now 8 seconds separating the two clocks. Tries to save it. Outside Butler. Lays it up and banks it in. Butler's got 11 points.
Well, I'll tell you what, I need to see some more assertiveness out of these defenders. They're not getting the job done.
Yeah, that's 10 of the last 12 points they've allowed on good looks right at the rim.
Heinrich hits to Dunleavy. And count it. 2 points with a chance for one more at the free throw line.
They have repeatedly probed inside in the first half, guys, and it's paid dividends.
Yeah, it sure has, Clark. I mean, with as many points as they've gotten in the paint, they really haven't had to do much on the perimeter.
The free throw drops for Dunleavy. Now Smith. Takes a 3. No good. Here's Heinrich. Shot is off. The offense coming free and easy as we wrap up the first quarter. All right, the second quarter beginning in just a moment. So guys, what's your take on the Bulls so far?
And that first quarter was all about pace, guys, because this club really got out into transition, and that's how they built this lead.
They like to play fast, and they're doing a nice job filling the lane.
And the dunk by Smith.
Textbook example there of how to use defense to create offense.
Yeah, beautiful transition play after the steal all the way to the basket.
Wasted no time going from defense to offense.
And it feels like they're starting to pick up the intensity as the game itself starts to get a little more tight and close.
Well, Clark, a clear lane to the basket and the emphatic jam.
And that is outstanding attacking basketball.
Well, he had no choice but to take that one to the bucket.
Houston found their way back into the playoffs last season, but really it wasn't because they were a tough team on the road. They only had 16 wins away from Houston last season.
And here is Butler. James Harden getting it to go from deep. Then kicks to Gibson. He dishes it to Dunlap. Heinrich. Outside Dang. Good, and Heinrich gets the assist. Heinrich's got his 5th assist in this one. And Clark, as you were talking about, the Rockets weren't nearly as troublesome to teams last year when they found themselves in the arena. Mostly, Steve, it came down to their offense not having quite as much punch.
Well, most teams don't score as much on the road as they do at home, but for the Rockets, 5 points differential between home and away, it's pretty dramatic. And I think that was one of the reasons why we saw them struggle when they left Houston and tried to get a win.
Catching up on the changes for Chicago. Joakim Noah, he's checked in for Dan. And Derrick Rose is subbed in for Jimmy Butler.
You know, one thing you know is that the son of a coach is usually going to have good shooting mechanics, and that's definitely the case with Mike Dunleavy Jr. He always seems cool and composed when he's getting ready to fire away. He's got a great release.
It says one of the benefits of growing up in an NBA film, shooting form comes very easy to him, and he makes the most of it. Let's go to our sideline reporter, Doris Burke. Doris, what do you have?
Gentlemen, for Jeremy Lin, 2 seasons ago, it was one of the most abrupt ascents into stardom the league has ever seen. For Lin, though, it wasn't all roses. He said, quote, "I saw how fame changed how people looked at me, and I hated it. I went into a shell. But over time, I was able to get a better perspective." He said, quote, "I won't let any of my friends become a fan. They can support me, but they can't treat me differently than they would treat someone else. And guys, now on a new team, Lin might just be happier now that the hoopla has settled a bit."
Well, Doris, that fan passion can cut both ways. Sometimes you have to take the good with the bad.
Well, the Bulls battled in last year's postseason. Got a Game 7 win in Brooklyn to sneak out of round 1 in what was one of the more interesting series of the first round, but then fell to the Heat in round 2.
Boy, just a brain cramp, guys. I mean, that should have been the simplest of exchanges.
The Bulls leading by 11. Feeds to Boozer. Working on Ashik. Boozer with it. Now defended by Ashik. Boozer no luck. And for the Bulls, no Rose the whole time. And they had questions constantly being asked if he would return. But the team came together, Steve, and showed the Bulls aren't just a one-man show.
You know, they missed him, though, Kevin, and desperately. I thought they performed admirably, but they really needed him against the Heat. They were able to steal Game 1 in that Eastern Conference semifinal matchup, but without him, the Bulls just didn't have enough firepower to beat Miami.
Howard can hit.
You know, they're not totally dominating the glass, but they're definitely doing enough to keep this lead right where it is.
Well, if you're doing enough good things and you're maintaining at least a slight edge on the boards, you're usually going to be in pretty good shape.
The dunk and the foul, a powerhouse move, and he's got a chance for one more at the line. That's on Joakim Noah.
Tell you what, Kevin, they'd love to see him get a lot more of those opportunities.
Mark, that deficit will go away quickly if he does.
And I like the way he capped that drive off, guys, with the one-hand punch.
Now here's Heinrich. He's been patient so far, nothing yet on the scoreboard.
That's his second personal foul. If he gets another, he'll probably put him on the bench for the rest of the first half.
So it's Chicago now. Howard with the steal.
That's one of the few mistakes they've made this half. Turnovers haven't been an issue for him yet.
The lead pass was put in just the right spot. Howard's got 4 points now in the quarter.
Boy, great job of attacking on the break.
Yeah, sure was. He made a beeline for the bucket as soon as they got the ball. Right away, straight to the rim.
Now here's Rose. He's got 7, and Heinrich gets it to go.
When Derrick Rose came into the league, he was mostly viewed as just a scoring point guard. But he's done a nice job of finding ways to boost his assist total and be more of a playmaker for his teammates. And he's done that each year he's been in the league.
Takes the lead pass, and Boozer throws it down.
Boy, the kind of moment you love to see. Excellent defense leading to a dunk at the other end.
Clark, you got to marvel at the transition game when they've got it clicking. It's really explosive.
High octane for sure.
Oof. Turning defensive pressure into offensive opportunities. That's what it's all about.
No good from Howard. Well, Clark, you mentioned Rowe's assist totals have climbed pretty steadily over the years, and Steve, I know you appreciate that. With all that he can do, he's always looking for others.
Man, I think that's what makes him so dangerous offensively, because he can create his own shot or for his teammates. He may not be just a pure point guard, but it's not because of a lack of passing ability. He's a modern-day point guard who can do anything.
Here is Heinrich after the made shot from Ashik. Boozer, and a great assist by Heinrich as that one goes in. Boozer's got 4 points this quarter.
Well, I'll bet his teammates love playing with him. He's distributing the ball perfectly.
Well, he keeps everybody happy, and you know what? The assist numbers don't lie. It's a +5 advantage for them in the rebounding category after that board.
Very steady work they've been doing on the interior, no question. And that's, I think, the main reason they have this lead.
And some nice ball movement here by Chicago. And it's sent back by Howard. And so it looks like the Bulls will retain possession here. James Harden, he's checked in for Omer Ashik. Chicago with the ball. 14 points, their largest lead in the game. And out of bounds as the Rockets gain possession. The Rockets have gone 6 of 13 so far from the field here in the second quarter. Harden kicks to Garcia. Back to Harden. Here's the three. And that one's good. Harden's got 18 points in the game.
You know, if you were only looking at the way he's played offensively, you'd think his team would be ahead.
Lynn against Rose. Outside Dang. Trains the three-pointer. He's got 11.
His shooting's been outstanding. Definitely one of the reasons his team is up in this game.
From deep Harden. And another three for Houston.
You know, he started out hot, and he's only gotten hotter. He could be in for one of those games.
Heinrich a screen on Lynn. And there's a whistle that's going to go on James Harden. That'll be his second foul of the game. Butler dishes to Dang. Outside Rose. And that basket's going to count, folks. Gets the goaltending call right there.
Boy, he's so hard to stop, guys, because he poses a ton of matchup problems for the defense.
Just 4 seconds left here in the second. And here's Harden for three. And the release was before the buzzer, but it's off target. And we finished one half of it.
Now, presented by Sprint.
Well, it's halftime.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
A gorgeous view of the Chicago skyline as we welcome you back.
Hey, people had no idea, guys, how the Bulls were going to do last season dealing with the Rose injury, but they showed very quickly that they're going to be a team in the hunt, and they were still going to be hard to beat at home.
Now here's Rose, and he throws it for the top. He's had some determination that time, Clark, to get to the rim.
We know he can bounce, and right there an example of how dangerous he is when he's got a pass to the hoop.
And you love the versatility, guys. Being a point guard, and in this situation, they tack on 2 more points, expanding the lead in a pretty deflating way for the defense.
Here is Harden after the Bulls pick up 2. That's good. Harden's got 24. And back to the Bulls at the United Center that Clark was just mentioning, 24 and 17 here in this building a year ago. And even though, Steve, they didn't have a lot of high-flying highlights here, they knew how to close out games.
Well, they defend, and that's the main thing. If you want to finish and close out games, you have to be able to defend and rebound. And that's what Tom Thibodeau's teams are always all about, and this year is no exception.
And Doris Burke has a report for us from the sideline.
Gentlemen, last season it seemed there was a little back and forth between head coach Tom Thibodeau and the Bulls front office regarding the big minutes he gave his starters. Thibodeau said, quote, "It's never the right amount of minutes. That's the only thing I know. If a guy's not playing big minutes, it's not enough minutes. And if a guy's playing big minutes, it's too many minutes. So you play to win. That's the whole thing. And when you're a young team, guys can handle minutes. But guys, both Dang and Noah missed significant time. Noah only playing 66 games in the regular season. Dang out through the last 7 games of the playoffs. You wonder if maybe they have a point."
They've worked to round out the roster. That should help those minutes stay down.
Jimmy Butler was the last pick of the first round back in 2011 by the Bulls. And last season, I tell you what, he really solidified his place in the rotation, guy. He's still developing his outside shot, but he brings an awful lot to light to the table.
Here's Lynn. And Clark, they're going to have to make a pretty big comeback here.
Yeah, I think so, but I don't think the clock is a factor right now, at least not yet. I mean, they don't need to change their pace of play. Keep attacking.
Yeah, I agree. You got to make sure you take your time, but start to be more effective and efficient with each possession, and you got to buckle down defensively.
And for Jimmy Butler, what a story. Abandoned as a child, bounced around from home to home. One coach would take him in, another family would take him in. It was a very tough upbringing down in the Houston area. He overcame tremendous odds. And to be where he is today with the great attitude after a short time at Marquette, it speaks volumes of his character.
Well, it sure shows in his play, doesn't it? I mean, just the way he hustles and draws fouls, rebounds, defends. He can guard multiple positions out there. I just love his overall game and his toughness and what he brings to this team.
You know, one of the things that's really hard to do in the NBA, it's actually one of the hardest things to do in the NBA, is to stay in front of Derrick Rose. I mean, it's not just his burst of speed or his quick first step, but he's got one of the meanest, nastiest, filthiest crossovers in the entire league. And then you add his strength and explosiveness in the air to that, that's lethal.
A nice shot by Lynn.
And another three-pointer to their second half total.
Yeah, they caught that long-range bug at halftime, and it's been palms away ever since.
Well, they're passing to Boozer. And change shot. And Noah with a nice bucket inside. Noah's got his first points of the game.
Well, that's how you pick up second chance points. Stay active, be energetic, and react as soon as the shot goes up.
And for Rose, as he returns from his knee injury, you wonder how that'll affect his ability to blow by defenders, which is such a great quality he possessed prior to the injury. Shooting from the outside is solid, but he hasn't been elite to this point in his career with that shot. So there's a lot of unknowns still about his game, and being so young, you expect that.
It's going to be an adjustment, Kevin. I mean, you have to find your confidence after an injury like that. I think he's going to be a better shooter because if there was one thing he could work on while he was out, it's that outside jump shot. But we got to give him some time to just get his confidence and find his game again.
You know, when you get an influx of talent through the draft like the Rockets did prior to last season, the initial reaction is excitement, but then you think about, man, how are we going to get these guys ready to play NBA basketball? And the Rockets did a nice job by taking it easy and bringing them along slowly.
Rockets trail by 9, and Beverly kicks to Harden, and out of bounds as the Bulls gain possession.
That's not what they needed there, that's for sure.
For Chicago, they've gone an even 50% from the floor here in the third quarter. 4 of 8. And for the Rockets, you look at how that strategy worked out for them, and it was exactly what they needed. Got off to a quick start last year. And, you know, Steve, toward the end, their rookies were fresh and able to contribute when it mattered most.
You know, Kevin, it's hard for fans to see a player get drafted and not immediately see the floor, but a lot of times that's the best route. You know, you give a player time to adjust, you make him earn it, and by the end of the season, he can be a very effective player. I think plenty of the Rockets players proved that last season.
Boozer kicks to Butler. Bulls moving the ball around. Here's Dang. Noah cleans up the mess with the savage putback flush.
Now that's no run-of-the-mill putback there.
Got the rebound and then the dunk, one on top of the other.
The 1-2 punch, you gotta love it. It's 12 straight points coming off three-pointers. I mean, somebody do something defensively.
Well, I agree with you. I mean, who's going to step up? They're rolling out there now, so you got to get in their chest, make them uncomfortable, and try to deny those looks.
And that one's good, Boozer.
Their prowess inside has been tremendous, guys. I mean, it's been no contest down on the low block.
And until they prove they can stop them, I mean, they ought to continue to pound it in low.
That's good.
Absolutely on fire from behind the arc.
Yeah, that's where he's getting his points.
Chicago leading by 6. And it's Rose penetrating. And that basket is going to count. Goaltending, the official call.
You know, the Rockets did a lot to make over their backcourt last season as they brought in 2 big names in Jeremy Lin and James Harden. And that's not always an easy adjustment. It took a little time for both of those guys to figure out how to coexist in the pick-and-roll offense.
Houston making a switch. Ashik's checked in. And guys, what do you think about the hustle stance for the Bulls?
Boy, their hounding, harassing effort at the defensive end, very impressive. And they forced quite a few turnovers as a result.
And I'll tell you, the other thing that's been a factor is the transition game. They're scoring a lot of points on the fast break.
And so it's Houston with it. The Bulls getting the bucket. Passes it to Beverly. Cushing's on the wing. The three from Harden. And that one's good. Harden's got 39. And Clark, as you said, it took some time for this Houston backcourt to learn how to play with each other, but that is the case for any duo. Eventually, Steve, they found a happier medium, and that initiated some great offense between them.
Well, they were much more effective down the stretch last season, Kevin, and I thought it really showed in the way Lin and Harden played off of each other. So a lot of teams, they seem to want to have that second option for bringing the ball up or for attacking, and it is very effective to have a couple of guys who can each attack and create.
Asik with the bucket. Asik's got 6 points.
They're not as aggressive from the outside here, but maybe they should think about stretching the defense a little bit, like they did in the first half. I mean, stretching the defense makes it easier to score inside, too.
Butler kicks to Rose. Dang. Yes, and it's Rose with the assist that time. 16 points for Luol Deng. Now here's Parsons. The three from Harden. No good.
All game long, guys, he's been getting it done. Really doing a nice job rebounding.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more.
And the final period of play just about to start. Rockets trail by 10. Lin kicks to Harden. Hits it from three-point range. Harden's got 42 in the game.
Now, the way this defense is playing out there, I mean, they might as well not be there. That's 5 straight wide-open threes.
Yeah, and that's way too many. I mean, typically teams will get the message to cover shooters after 1 or 2 wide-open threes, but they just haven't figured it out yet.
Joakim Noah, he's checked in for Chicago.
Another bucket in the paint. That's something they just have not been able to stop today.
I think it's time to make some adjustments defensively, Clark. I mean, what they've got going right now is not getting it done.
Dwight Howard is a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, and, you know, when he's healthy, he can really anchor a defense inside with his rebounding and shot blocking. A real force in the paint.
Smith checked in for Houston. And Clark, I know for Howard, you said when he's right. But the last few seasons, Steve, I think that's become an issue. Injuries have been a problem.
For sure, his production has waned. He had the disc issue in his back that numbed out one of his legs last year, had to have back surgery. So, you know, you think about everything else, the torn labrum in his shoulder. He's taken a pounding over the years. Not a good foul shooter, so people really hit him hard and force him to the line. You wonder if maybe that has something to do with the injuries.
And it's Butler missing.
Now, normally that's a shot people make, but that's not really his bread and butter there.
Lin dishes to Harden. From downtown, the basket good off the assist from Lin. Lin's got 5 assists tonight.
You know, nobody responds to end-of-game pressure like this guy. That's what comes to mind immediately for me. He's hit some monumental shots in his career, and some guys just embrace the moment at the end of the game. That's him.
And Steve, near the bucket, he's one of the best finishers around. I mean, he does a great job of using his strong body to fight through contact and get to the rack.
Back to Howard. Pass to Smith. And Parsons kicks to Smith. It's stolen by Dang. And there's a nice one-handed slam.
Boy, I love it. Active hands on the steal, active feet on the fast break.
And Clark power on the dunk.
And guys, this is just too close of a game to be giving the ball up like that and then failing to get back in transition.
Rockets trail by 7. And here's Harden for 3. And another 3 for Houston.
That's a weapon they've been allowed to use at will today, Steve.
I'll say the defense has been ineffective trying to run shooters off that three-point line.
Doris Burke has an update for us. Doris?
Hi, guys. Over that break, I was able to catch the message Tom Thibodeau was giving to his team. His advice clear-cut. I want to see you playing to win, not playing not to lose. I don't care what the lead is. We do not back off.
Houston moving the ball around. And that one's good. Beverly.
What a display of offense we've seen today, and it's only getting better.
Well, both defenses have been on their heels all day, and it's begun to take its toll.
Butler kicks to Boozer. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
Boozer had his name floated around at the trade deadline last season, guys. There were a number of teams that were very interested in having his physicality and scoring ability down low.
Omer Asher, he's checked in for the Rockets. And you wonder why Boozer's name would be floated in trade rumors. I mean, one of the top rebounding power forwards in the game can score inside and outside.
Well, I think, Kevin, teams are becoming more and more cap conscious with the new collective bargaining agreement. And Boozer is a very highly paid player, so even though he's productive, I think some people are going to look at that contract and maybe shy away from it.
Heinrich passes to Boozer. Butler kicks to Dang. The putback and finished off by Noah. And the Bulls lead by 4.
You've got to like what they've been doing down there in the low post, Clark.
I do. I love it. Their rebounding has been outstanding, so important in a tight game.
And the defense looking to protect the rim at all costs.
Yeah, I like that. A foul to save the layup. Make him earn it at the line.
Derrick Rose is checked in for Kirk Heinrich.
I like that they haven't lost their aggressiveness here in the second half, despite trailing in this game.
Well, that's when you need to be most aggressive when you're down. Another good job of drawing contact and getting to the line.
Rockets trail by 5. From deep Harden. Joakim Noah grabs the miss. Noah's got rebound number 9 now. What an effort here tonight. Rose with the ball. Now guarded by Beverly. And that one's good by Noah.
They've got to continue to put pressure on the defense by probing inside. That's what's really working for them.
And when you're doing the job they are inside, it takes pressure off the perimeter guys.
Rockets have gone 5 of 7 from the field since the beginning of the fourth. Strong work at that end of the floor. Got that one up quick. Harden's got 51.
I like the offensive awareness to exploit that lack of coverage on that play.
And out of bounds as the Rockets gain possession. Three from the inbound. No luck. Some solid defense from Butler.
Boy, just by his body language, Kevin, you can tell he thought that triple was going to fall.
Yeah, a little frustrated now, shaking his head after that miss.
Goes up high with a two-handed dunk. And that's how you exploit a gap in the D, I guess.
Yes, sir. No soft finish there. Major power.
He knows an opportunity for the highlight reel when he sees one.
Kicks to Beverly. Stolen by Rose. Here's Butler.
Ridiculous. Tore it down that time.
Just floating to the rim on that slam.
Boy, when he gets up and stays up.
Boy, smooth and graceful. How about the hang time? That's impressive.
The Rockets making a switch here. Vince checked in. Outside Rose. The dish now to Boozer. Back to Rose. Blocked. Another shot. Dives for it.
Well, I guess they can get them when they need them. That's a good job of getting to the miss.
The feed to Usher. Harden outside. The 3 gets it to go. Harden's got 54 points.
Tell you what, he's had an excellent game, and they're going to have to continue to rely on him if they're going to come back.
Back to Dang. It's good. This time the assist from Rose. And that's now 20 points for Luol Deng.
What an excellent performance from the field for him.
And it's going to be out of luck. The Bulls will take.
Well, that's inexcusable to throw a pass that far off the mark.
The Bulls leading by 7. Outside Rose. Left side Rose. Back to Noah. And down it goes. Jamming that one home.
They didn't take their time wrapping this game up. They pretty much did it in a hurry.
Yeah, they had a nice spurt to polish this one off.
For Houston, they've gone 7 of 10 shooting the ball since the start of the fourth quarter.
Get outside, get outside.
Outside Rose. Back to Boozer. An easy 2 points on the layup. And now an 11-point Chicago lead.
Well, they're going to walk out of here with a win and send this crowd home happy.
A very solid performance in a lot of areas for them.
A nice shot by Lynn.
He's got a nice stroke from long range, and he's not likely to pass up those opportunities when he gets them.
Rose kicks to Buck. Back to Rose. 16 seconds left to play in the final quarter. Gets it to go.
Time to turn out the lights on this game.
I think they deserve a ton of credit for the way they played here today. Truly a professional display.
Yeah, baby. Groovy.
And the Rockets making a change here. Heinrich dishes to Rose. And so Chicago takes this one, and by a big margin. Some days, Clark, everything goes right for a team, and they just had one of those games.
It certainly was. I mean, these guys played a great all-around basketball game here.
Thank you for joining us for this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports.